Hey, I'm Renee, but you can call me Blade, and this is the Oh My God Show. And today I just want to talk to you very briefly about my first book, my first published book. It's called Pillow Talks with My Soul, and it's actually maybe the third book that I've actually written, but this is the only one that I actually published. One was a children's book inspired by my little cousin, and the other one was me interviewing and writing down the life story of a man who was abandoned in the streets in Jamaica in 1964. And yeah, but anyway, none of those books are published, and I don't know if I will ever publish those ever. But this one, I decided that okay, I wanted to publish a small collection of poetry or something like that, because I guess I thought it would be probably easier than the other books or something like that. But this too, I wrote over a period maybe of 12 years, and even though it's very small and thin, but what I did was to take out some of the stuff that I had written because I'd been writing since I was younger. And yeah, so I decided, I was so excited, and yeah, I was so excited that I got a chance to publish a book. And I always wanted to, I always love to write. I did a book launch, and this was in 2015. So now that I'm taking up the book to do this video, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 5 years already. And sometimes I literally forget that I have written a book, because yeah, so if you were to think of it, some people would probably say that it was a failure, simply because I'm still broke and I never made any money from the sales of this book, because I made a lot of mistakes in the publishing. The main thing is that I went through the self-publishing route. Self-publishing has really taken on a great face in the last 5 years. There's a lot of different ways to publish books, even online now. So if I were to ever write again, I would probably not end up in the same dilemma. So I published the book, I had paid for it, I had even paid for them to send me 200 copies of my own book, which I had to pay for, and I had already paid them to publish it, I think, as well. And they even wanted me to buy a ridiculous quantity, like 10,000 or 1,000 or something, and I'm like, hey, like, I am unknown, I'm a new writer. At least I knew that much, that if nobody knows you, like, who's gonna buy the book? Even if it's good, most people will never even take it up to read if they don't know you, and that's just the fact. And even then, I knew what was happening. And then when the book was finished, when it was published, after a while, the publishing house came back to me and they were asking me for more money to do marketing and stuff of the book. And by this time, I wasn't ready to quit my job and live my life and pursue this book tour or anything like that, which again, you'd have to probably have a lot of faith in it. I know it's okay, but I didn't think I could just pack up everything and use everything I have just to promote this book. And I think I made the right decision in this time. So by the time the book was finished, published, I realized all the mistakes I even saw in the book and everything. And I was really pleased at the end with the outcome. But it only gave me confidence that I actually am able to write, I can do something, and there is something there in me. So I kind of take this book as like a practice run or something of some sorts. And sometimes people ask me, how is the book going, or something like that. I have seen it online, I have seen it being sold, I've seen it sold out. I don't understand a lot about the publishing area, and I think that was one of my biggest mistakes. So that's why I found myself in a very, very tight spot. Legally, of course, it's my book, it's my name, and the copyright is under my name, so for sure that is okay. But in terms of how, who even gets this money that is from the book, I don't know. I've never collected $1 from the sale of this book, just so you know, just so you put it out there. And I was talking to a friend, I was like, oh, forget that book, like, it was a failure. But you know what, failure is not, if we define our failure simply because of money or the lot thereof, then I think that is the real definition of a failure. So I am here to encourage any of you, if you want to write, or if you have a dream, or if you want to do something and you tried the arts and you tried the sciences, or you tried whatever and it didn't work out the first time around, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. It doesn't mean that it will never nothing good will come out of you, because all this time that I took to write this book, every single word and page in this book was written by me, including the back cover. I submitted it yeah, it was kind of weird trying to write about myself as well at the back. And I also expected something different. Even for the typesetting of the book, I thought at the end of the day I wasn't sure what I paid for. Like, I felt like even the typesetting, I thought that, you know, I'd get more help in terms of the interior of the book because it looks nice. I think the cover is the best part for me. I really love the cover, but the interior is like yeah, not sure if you can see it. So yeah, and I'm gonna read something about that I actually wrote in the book. I'm just gonna read one. It's called Failure's Shadow, and it says, sometimes failures seem inevitable. Sometimes we simply fail to try. Sometimes we try hard at a particular task, yet our efforts prove futile. We are often able to overcome tangible obstacles in life, such as tying our laces and making the bed. Yet we often stumble upon the laces of intangible obstacles such as lack of persistence and endurance. I guess if we do not experience the bitter taste of defeat, we cannot lavish in the glory of being successful. Life is a giant maze in which we often feel trapped, subordinate to the superior gate of its unpredictabilities. In my eyes, success is always out there, though often hidden in the dark shadow of failure. Just look beyond failure, regret, and remorse. True success is always out there if you persevere. So sometimes you do something and you have to make a decision in your mind if you're going to allow that thing to stop you from trying. I never stopped writing after this. I never stopped, trying to pursue my dream. And now I'm not even sure if it's that much of a big passion for me to write a book anymore. Maybe I will. I have an idea for another book. I don't know when I will write that one as well. But then that's the next thing too. You see, the gifts that God gives to you and the talent is always a situation where there's more where that came from. So if you have failed or something like that, it doesn't mean that you should just give up and stop writing and stop being there. Like, I started YouTube a long time ago as well, and then I stopped. But this time I'm like, no, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna push. I'm gonna try to do something. So don't let one thing stop you. And yeah, if you saw my book on Amazon and you still feel like you want to buy it, even if I will maybe never see the dollar from that money or whatever. So apparently, I forgot the deal, but like they have to sell a certain number of copies for me to get a percentage or something like that. But apparently they've not sold any copies so far in 5 years. So yeah, but not even I, who is the writer, promote the book. So it's quite possible that not even one copy was sold. Yeah, but I would not discourage you if you saw the book and you wanted to read it, because I feel like during that period of my life where I was going through a lot of stuff, even I think early teens, early 20s especially, and the Lord opened a lot of things, in my mind, and I spoke about Crumble, I spoke about other things, and if you feel like you still want to buy it, I do not mind. I don't care, even if somebody else is going to benefit at this point. Of course, if I will write again, I would be more careful with who I use and stuff like that. But yeah, it's funny. And if you decide to publish a book or anything like that as well too, you also have to think of the marketing aspect of it. As I said, I decided I wasn't gonna go and spend money to do extra stuff. So marketing and all of those things is a part of it. And also, you don't always just jump to blame the person or the publishers or the other person, but you also have to look at yourself and what you did and what you can improve the next time around, and just be more careful as well with not just being so quick to just be like, oh, I want to publish and I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. So do your research and find out of people that talk like good things about certain different avenues of publishing and stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to read this one called Crumble. It says, if you find yourself crumbled into a pitiful mass at the foot of your bed, for whatever reason, small or great, if you find yourself yearning to get as close as possible to the floor, just so that your body can physically match the lowness that you feel in your soul, if tears come rushing down your face despite your efforts to tame them, the source of your breakdown, first time or recurrent, know that you are not the first to be crumbled into this fetal-like position, slapping your head while repeating, stupid, stupid, stupid. If you find yourself clutching your chest in a desperate effort to compress your pain, whether it is something she did or something he did or something you wish you never did, Remember that it happens to all of us and the rest of us too. You will smile again after the floor no longer bears evidence of your mini breakdown. You will live to cry again. Hours after this saga will find you laughing out loud. There is no shame in this moment. No shame in tearing. You will surely heal and become stronger. Pick yourself up and stand tall again. So whatever it's a failure of a book or a relationship or a marriage or losing your job or whatever the case may be, if you believe that you have the strength, you know, just tearing up, just cry if you have to, just wallow on the floor if you have to, but know that you're not alone, that we've all been through it. And it's all about how you take the pain that you go through in stride. And there is a audiobook I was listening to on YouTube called Failing Forward, you know, and it's about just don't stop at the failure. Don't stop because you didn't see the money, you know. Sometimes like there's like a Chinese bamboo tree. I listen to Too Much Less Brown, just so you know, growing somewhere in your life, and it seems as if you're just watering and there's nothing coming up, or it seems as if you've been trying and trying for years. Let me not even talk about that in my own life. Like I was literally going around in circles and circles, and nothing was happening, and nothing was happening, and nothing was happening, until finally I see a little I'm seeing now in my life a little glimmer of hope. So I am not going to judge myself based on the failure or success of something that I've tried, because every time when I wake up and I know that I'm still breathing, I feel like it means that I still have ways to go. And I think it was Mr. Rick Warren who said that in life, sometimes when you have to go to the gas pump more often than other people, it means that you have a longer way to go, you know? So I feel so I feel so happy inside, because you know, people always ask me, and I really don't care. I'm like, oh my gosh, I published a book. When somebody says it, I'm like, oh, I published a book, because I literally just moved on with my life. And I don't really regret it to a lot of extent. But maybe I wrote this book just so I can tell you that you should try one more time with your dream, try one more time with your goal, try one more time with your passion of something that you want to do. And don't feel like just because you haven't seen the cash cha-ching in the bank as yet, doesn't mean that it's not on the way. Doesn't mean that FedEx guy is not maybe just buying, you know, taking a little break, but he's gonna bring it eventually, you know. So yeah, so don't feel bad about stuff that has not happened yet, because you still have the strength, you still have the mind to do it. And as I said in my last video about not being worried about certain things, is that I feel like I still have my mind, you know. If you keep your mind focused, if you keep your mind steady, and if you just continue to have your trust and your faith in God. And I pray that for those of you who are watching my video, and that it's not just like, oh, just to look and see what's going on in my life. No, just know that God is able to do the impossible in your life, and your failures is just like what do you call it, it's like practice. Yeah, you're just practicing. You know, when you're in a theater or a production and you keep practicing and practicing, and you make so much mistakes, and sometimes you laugh, and you know, you fall down and you mess up your lines, but most of the times on the day of the big production, like, you always just seem to get it at that moment. And if you make a mistake as well, even on those days, there are ways to cover it up, or there are ways to just you know, try another day. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop talking now. Thank you so much for watching my video. I pray that you stay encouraged. I pray that you stay motivated. I pray that you stay true to yourself, and don't allow also that other people's standards to define your own life, because maybe for them money is success or money is fail is everything that you need to seek after in life. But most people too, if they testify to you, most successful people who are successful financially, they often didn't start out chasing after the money. They chased their passion, they chased their goal, and often they also walked in the gifts that God, the natural gifts that God gave to them. Not just because you see somebody else doing something and you just run to do it just because you know that, oh, they're earning money over there, let me just run and go and earn money too. Maybe it's just not your destiny, you know. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. God bless you all, and like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.